All right, so we're coming up on the 1-year mark of the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, and it is time to see, at the 1-year mark, is this actually worth it for you to spend the extra money on? Is it worth the $50 a year for the single person, or is it worth the family plan at $80 a year? This is something we talked about when we first saw this announced. We did a video on it a year ago. I said I was gonna come back in a year and see exactly how we felt about it then. I really expected a lot of stuff to happen. Most of it did. We're gonna go over that. We also talked about this a lot on the podcast last week. We do a podcast over on our other YouTube channel. The link to that will be down in the description. We record our podcast over there every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to hang out with us and watch us record it live, or just go listen to it afterward on the podcast network of your choice, all that will be linked below. But let's go ahead and get started with this. Okay, so originally, as you know, in the regular online pack, we got the online. We got regular Nintendo games, which, you know, the first batch of them was fine. There was some good stuff. We also got the Super Nintendo at the same time. That's all in the original online stuff. So those were okay. But then when they announced the expansion pack, they said we're getting 64 games. And to me, as much as I like those old, you know, Super Nintendo games, the NES games are fine. It's hard for me to go all the way back that far. But the 64 was different. That was something that I was pretty excited about for a lot of reasons. One is this. We kind of knew they'd release one of these. They did it with both of the other systems. But these are games that really need to be played on the original controller. They're set up kind of weird. You can play them all with a regular controller, but it is cool. It's very cool. It's just like the old one. It's wireless. I'm a big Star Fox 64 fan, so that's the one I probably played the most. Obviously, Ocarina of Time's another one that's really good. Mario 64. All the games on the 64 are really what I grew up with. Those are the ones that I really remember me being old enough to really get into and really enjoy. So the 64 games for me were a big deal, almost enough to justify the price. As an Animal Crossing fan, we also got the Happy Home Paradise DLC, which right there, for me, I understand not a lot of people, but for me at the time, that was enough. You're asking me $30 more to give me 64 games, and I'm not even mentioning the Genesis games. I didn't mention it because I don't really play them all that much. I'm gonna be honest, all the emulation and stuff, from what I'm told, is way better on that side of things. Anyway, we got the Happy Home Paradise DLC, which is $25. So essentially, I was gonna buy that anyway. So you're getting the $25 DLC plus your online stuff. You add $5 more to what you would have paid for the DLC. You've got all the 64 games. You've got all the Genesis games. At that point, I thought it was worth it. If you're not an Animal Crossing fan, I get it. We started getting more 64 games, and they kind of told us which ones we were gonna get. And those are basically what we've got up until this point. We did get an extra Pokemon pinball game, and we just got Wave Race 64, which, excellent. Absolutely excellent. Really like Wave Race. Looking forward to 1080. I'm sure that's probably going to be one of the ones we get in the near future. But not only have they added all these games, not only have they given us all the games already in the first year that they said we were going to be getting, we got 2 extras, and now they're starting to do what we talked about in that original video when we first started talking about this expansion pass. I said I really thought that we were going to get more DLC. I really thought that that's the way they were going to end up going with all this, because if you look around right now, you've got Game Pass, you've got whatever Sony's thing is called. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's basically the same thing. It's a service. It's a service to give you games, to give you this, to get you in. It's a monthly thing that these companies want to do, but Nintendo's never going to do that. They're not going to give away their games. So their version of this is clearly give away the DLC. Because not only did we get the Animal Crossing DLC, then they announced that we're also getting a huge expansion to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which we're still getting that stuff. We've only got 2 of those packs, and we've got 1.5 to 2 years left of those tracks coming. It's basically a whole nother Mario Kart game. So you're basically getting a whole nother game, one that has the exact same amount of tracks as the original game, and you're getting that just added in. They also added in the Octo expansion for Splatoon 2. Splatoon 3 is coming out. I feel like that's a little more of a marketing thing. Like, hey, if you didn't get it, here, play Splatoon 2. We want you to be invested in 3. It's kind of incentive to buy the game as well. So right there, for $80 a year, you've got 2 systems, 3 DLCs that cost $25 a piece. So you're at $75 right there. And $80 is just for the family plan. You can get a single membership for $50. You're getting all that stuff. So you're getting $75 worth of DLC I understand you have to pay this yearly, but right now, the way it stands, if you were to buy into this right now, you're getting 2 systems, you're getting $75 worth of DLC. If you go for the family plan and just get a bunch of people together, hell, even 4 of your friends, you can do this for even cheaper. There's absolutely no way at this point that I can see that anybody is saying that this isn't worth it. No, we're not getting full games at release like Xbox does. But Nintendo, as I said, they're never gonna do that. That's not the way that their company works. They just don't do that type of thing. I understand that that is something that we have to pay every year. But look right now where we've come with this in a year. What are they gonna add in the coming year? I'm sure there's gonna be just as much, if not more. I'm sure we're probably gonna be getting more systems. It sounds like Game Boy Advance is coming. I'm sure eventually we're gonna get GameCube as well. I don't see how they're not gonna do GameCube games. We're gonna get more 64 games. We're gonna get more Genesis games. We're going to keep getting things. We're gonna get DLCs. My guess is, with the way that it looks like they're doing this, we are gonna get new DLCs, but I think we're gonna go back and get old DLCs as well. I honestly believe one of the next big older DLCs we're gonna get is probably the Breath of the Wild DLC. We're gonna have Breath of the Wild 2 coming out sometime next year. We're gonna get a big direct about that. I'm sure we're gonna see all kinds of stuff. They're gonna give us that Breath of the Wild DLC in the expansion pack. I don't know why they wouldn't. It just, if we go along with what they've been doing, that's probably what we're gonna see. And another thing I haven't even mentioned is the game trials that we're getting. We are starting to get a lot more of these. These were kind of few and far between before, but now we just got a game trial for Pokken Tournament, which I already have. It's a fun game, not really my thing, but they do keep doing that. They're adding a lot to this. I have to say at this point, if you still don't think it's worth it, I really don't know what to tell you. I mean, I do understand some of the people who said initially, yeah, it costs too much for what it is right now. But again, Nintendo came through. They did what they said they were gonna do, and they did more. Chances are there's gonna be even more to buy into next year, but let me know down in the comments below what you think about this. I want to know if you have the expansion pack, if you've had it for a full year. Are you going to continue to keep it? To me, it's a no-brainer. I think it's worth it. But guys, again, link to the podcast where we talk about this more is in the description down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like. Make sure you are subscribed. We'll see you in the next one.